Authorities in Oklahoma believe they found the remains of the two missing moms, Jillian Kelly and Veronica Butler. They vanished on March 30th, traveling for a custody visit with one of the women's kids. The arrest warrants include a group of people, and the mugshots are pretty wild. Take a look. They were part of a group called God's Misfits: Tad Cullum, Cole Twombly, Cora Twombly, Tiffany Adams. Tiffany Adams is the grandmother of the children at the center of this case. They are accused of being part of that anti-government group called God's Misfits. How the group fits into this alleged attack is a little bit unclear. The 16-year-old daughter of Cora Twombly told authorities that she overheard the group planning what they called a mission around the planned visit of these two women. She said she heard the group discussing using burner phones and said on the day of the women's disappearance that she was told the mission didn't go as planned, but they wouldn't have to worry about Veronica Butler ever again. NewsNation correspondent Nancy Liu joins us now from Oklahoma. This seems even more planned and targeted than we ever really realized.
Yeah, there's a lot to unwrap here, Leland, and we learned a lot of new information today with the unsealing of the probable cause affidavits. We've learned that those bodies that were recovered over the weekend, they were recovered on private land that was leased by one of the suspects now behind bars, and those bodies were 8.5 miles from where those women were last spotted with the abandoned car. Now, as you mentioned, this is all linked to a bitter custody battle. At the heart of it, Tiffany Adams, the grandma of two kids, at the heart of this custody battle. I talked to the It's been 2 weeks of investigating night and day, so hats off to them. But take a listen to what the sheriff said, because from the get-go of this investigation, Leland, these women were targeted.
There was a lot of questions from the public as was there any danger to the public? And I think from the get-go, once we arrived on scene, that and we gained a little bit of information, that we felt this wasn't a random deal. All right. We felt that with some of the information coming in that it was more targeted, and we started to look in those areas that we were pointed to.
And Leland, you mentioned God's Misfits, and this is an government group. They view themselves as sovereign citizens who don't need to follow the laws of the land. And that may explain the military, almost military-like convoy that we saw exclusively on Saturday as they closed in to execute these arrest warrants. We saw a convoy of over 20 vehicles closing in on these suspects, and that's because there was a fear that perhaps there would be resistance to arrest. There might be a shootout, but we can tell you, Leland, that there was no resistance, and law enforcement tells me that none of those suspects were armed when they were taken into custody. Leland?
Nancy, incredible reporting. I think this is an affidavit that you just got. Twombly's 16-year-old daughter said she overheard the group conversations about Butler not protecting kids from brothers sexually abusing them. Obviously, there's no way to corroborate that. You talked about the burner phones. There's so many parts of this story. The God Misfits group, right? Was this a group that they sort of created in order to carry out this crime? Or were they sort of already part of God's Misfits, and then they decided that this was a mission they wanted to embark on?
The latter. God's Misfits is something that exists, and there are followers of that movement, not just here in Oklahoma. That just plays into, these 4 suspects, but there are other followers of God's Misfits. But law enforcement indicates, this was a plan allegedly hatched up by these 4 suspects, spearheaded allegedly by that grandmother, Tiffany Adams, who wanted custody of those grandkids. And Veronica Butler was fighting for custody. And Leland, Wednesday, there was supposed to be a court hearing in which Veronica Butler was planning to ask for full custody of those kids.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.